All right, good morning and welcome to Beitzah Daf Yud Beis, Beitzah number 12. Shmuel is wrapping his tefillin. Um, he's getting ready for the shear. I saw him drinking a shot of whiskey before. He has to mentally prepare himself. There's a lot of. I personally don't drink whiskey before the shear. I drink a cup of coffee. Shmuel drinks whiskey. What's your whiskey of choice, Shmuel? What whiskey do you like? He likes the wet type. He likes Jim Beam. I think that's his favorite. Jim Beam. Um, Popular whiskey in America. I'm joking. He doesn't drink whiskey before a shear. He doesn't need to prepare before a shear. He's a natural. He has an interesting jacket. I want to show you your jacket. Inside is purple. Look at this. Show off your jacket. Look at this jacket. His inside has purple inside interior to his jacket. It must be a very expensive brand. What brand do you have over there? M&S collection? M&S. What's M&S?
I see you're not English.
What is M&S? What does it stand for? I have to know this.
Marks?
Oh, Marks and Spencer. Marks and Spencer. Oh, this is a famous one. Yeah. Shmuel traveled all the way to Heathrow Airport. Then he went back to Israel. He just wanted to tour Heathrow Airport. Then he flew back to England and went to Marks and Spencer and bought this jacket. So you got double points.
This is a wash and wear. You know what I mean?
Wash and wear. You can put it in the washing machine. Really? You put this jacket in the washing machine? Look at this. Wow, I never knew this. I never knew you could actually wash a jacket. This is amazing. I have to go to the store. I heard of Marks and Spencer. Yeah, Primark. You heard of Primark?
Primark, sure.
Have you been to England?
Sure.
Yeah. You shook hands with Queen Elizabeth. I thought that was a story I read in the newspaper. How you shook hands with Queen Elizabeth. They were making a whole big deal out of it. A Haredi guy. Yeah, actually.
Oh, no. She bowed down to him because she said, I told him I live in Telstone, so she heard that.
Well, actually, there was a story, right?
Exactly.
This is a true story.
So that's what she said. Oh, I heard Biden bowed down to Matzah. So she felt that she had to do the same to me.
What he's referring to is a story a couple months ago.
With her bowing down to me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Let the audience remember the story.
Yes,
there was a story a couple months ago. Yitzhak Rabitz is the mayor in Telson. His wife was his personal secretary to Reuven Rivlin, who used to be the president of Israel. On his farewell tour to America, he and she met with Joe Biden. Joe Biden, he told him that she had 11 or 12 children, and promptly upon telling him, Joe Biden got on either one knee or two knees, bowed down to her for being such a mother that she is. He wanted to show respect to her. So
it was a Kiddush Hashem.
It was a Kiddush Hashem, yeah.
He
bowed down to a Haredi woman. Do you believe this? But Shmuel did one better. That Shmuel, upon hearing the story, he said, I want to get another Marks and Spencer suit. So he went to England. While I'm in England, I might as well check out whether it works. Same thing works with Queen Elizabeth as it works with Joe Biden.
Oh,
so he got an audience with Queen Elizabeth.
That's right.
And you asked her to bow down to you. She wouldn't bow down. She extended her hand to shake your hand. And most Haredi men don't shake a woman's hand, but Shmuel felt compelled to shake her hand. And
That's not what happened at all.
I would shake her hand. If she extended her hand to me, I would shake her hand.
She made me a duke, actually.
A duke? Yeah. All right. I don't think duke is the highest. Duke is the highest? Duke is the highest?
The Duke of Davin and Cheer.
What's Davin and Cheer? This guy.
You know what dukes are?
Hey, how you doing? Was it David?
David. That's Shalom.
David and Shalom. David and Shalom. You guys know who Prince Harry is?
Prince Harry. He is. That's the one. That's the whole what the Harry Potter you're talking about.
No. Prince Harry.
Harry. What kind of name?
He's one of the sons of Prince Charles and Diana. Diana died. Princess Diana, she died. Prince Charles. Yeah, he has a son. You know about Prince Harry, right?
Who?
Baruch Ber. What's his name?
I think it's time to learn now. It's enough of this.
Prince Harry's not the first one in line. Prince William, right? What's his name? Who's the older son?
No. There's what's his name? Prince. He's talking about.
She's married to
Charles. Prince Charles
she's
is
married
is
to
the
Kate.
king. Is going to be the king one day. Prince Charles.
Charles? Yeah, Prince Charles. But after
Right.
Prince Charles dies, so then his son, who's the oldest son? I forgot his name.
It's going to be a big machlokes. Oh, you buy
No, it's not a machlokes. It's not a
No.
machlokes. No, it's in order. It's depends on age. Yeah.
Uh,
So he is the prince. Kate Middleton is his wife. Meghan Markle is the wife of
You sound
Prince
like
Harry.
cartoon.
Prince Harry. They left the fold. They left being part of the royal family. Technically, they don't want all the paparazzi. You know what paparazzi is?
sounds like some sort of Italian type of champagne.
And some people follow you around and take photographs all the time. It's called a paparazzi. Right? Shmuel, remember all the times that we're walking in the street together, me and you, and all the people were taking photographs? Hey, that's the famous duo from the Daf Yomi. Of you?
No, of the man selling.
Selling tefillin?
Yeah, tefillin or.
He's giving out tefillin the Chabad Shliach.
You have a lot of interesting interviews, right, with people from the street. Just
Yeah, I have had to stop. I don't do so many. David, אתה מכיר את Queen Elizabeth?
לא,
מלכה Elizabeth?
לא,
מבריטניה.
yes,
אז אתה מכיר אותה, כן?
לא,
אתה יודע אותה.
I think that's
חס
the last.
ושלום,
לא, אתה יודע מי היא.
חס ושלום.
No.
כל המשלים של המלך החפת עכשיו.
He thinks that he thinks Yodea means a metaphor in a bad way. Well, no, Yodea sometimes means to be together with them, but no, we're not talking about that. He knows, you know who she is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you know who she is. What's our oldest son's name? I keep forgetting. Prince William? What's his name? He's married to Kate Middleton.
הם אמורים עכשיו לשאול את עצמם, מי זה דוד לורנצי, מה איתו? רב שמואל סילבר, שנייה, הוא גר בזה. הם צריכים לשאול איפה אנחנו, מי אנחנו. למה מי הם בכלל? איזה...
He's saying that Queen Elizabeth has to ask where we are because we're like
מי
kings.
אנחנו, מי זה...
She's a queen, but she's not Jewish. So if you're Jewish, that makes you. People should be asking where are the Jews. David, you have a good point. You're like David HaMelech.
עשה מגוי.
אתה כמו דוד המלך.
אתה צריך לחשוב על המלכה ועל המלך.
All right.
When you said David that when you say Shalom is in the morning,
Yeah.
you should have in mind.
האמת
Shalom is
שגם אם הייתי גוי הייתי חושב עליהם והייתי אומר עליהם מזל שלא עושה לי אותם.
It's also
אני
true.
צריך את זה.
He says no one looks at them in
There's
no one
only,
looks up to them anymore. They had
אני רואה את רב שמואל.
the queen is not a. I mean, maybe the queen has some certain
listen, just because they're born as good. I had a discussion with
No,
my
but she-
brother-in-law on Shabbos like this. This is the question I posed. I said it's not fair. Some people are born not Jewish, right? They don't know anything about Judaism. They're born Catholic. They're born Hindu. I don't know. They're born somewhere
most of the world,
in India.
yeah, billions of people.
Right, so many people like that. They're not born Jewish. They know nothing about Jewish. Their whole life they don't come in contact with anyone Jewish, and they get the same reward as somebody who's. This is a great background. I like the background. We should do this background. It's great. It's a great background. They get the same chance as someone who's born Jewish, born to a frum Haredi family. He's learning his whole life, and he does what he's supposed to do. He follows rote because that's what everyone else does in his background, and he gets so much more schar. He's learning Torah Yomam V'Layla. He's doing mitzvahs Yomam V'Layla. Someone who's Hindu who never knew anything about Judaism. How is it fair? How is the Olam Haba fair? It's a good question. It's a fundamental question. They didn't know the answer. They said it's dependent on sod. I told them the sod. I told them that what do they share? What does a Hindu share with a Jew, the from Jew? They share one thing. They share a free will. That's all they share. So if you use your free will properly, then you could be.
Very good. I like that idea.
You can even be Mashiach. You can get brilliant all the way to Mashiach. But if you don't use your free will properly, so then You could be a from Jew and learn Torah and mitzvahs all night, but if you don't use your free will properly, you don't think, you don't make proper decisions.
עכשיו בעברית לא הבנתי.
אני אמרתי, זה לא פייר.
נכון, את
זה
השאלה
לא,
הבנתי, את התשובה.
אז התשובה שיש דבר אחד שיש בין שתיהם, משותף בין שתיהם, מה זה? בחירה חופשית.
כן.
בחירה חופשית. So, אם אתה משתמש בחירה חופשית, אפילו אתה הינדו, כן? אם אתה משתמש בחירה חופשית ואתה משתדל לעשות החלטות נכונות, to make the right decisions, ואם איש נולד למשפחת חרדי, והוא לא משתמש בחירה חופשית שלו, אז הוא פחות מההינדו.
מה, שבחר להיות יהודי או משהו?
הוא לא בחר, הוא עשה החלטות להיות ישר בעסק, to be fair in business, to be not to lie, to be a good person, to make the right decisions. Okay, that's all I have to say about the matter. What do you think? You masking with me?
Yes, sure. No, it's
exactly.
crazy. Listen,
All right, we have to learn.
Answer your family said about the soul part.
באמת חזק מאוד.
David agrees with me. David agrees with me, and Shmuel doesn't agree with me. David, thank you.
David Tzantik.
David, best. All right.
חזק מאוד.
Okay, we got the Mishnah. Beishamai Omrim, we're really falling behind here. Beishamai Omrim, Motziin Los, Akatam Los, Halula Los, Sefer Torah, Naf Yud Beis, Lishas Arabim, Misilim Atir. You're not allowed to take out a child or a lulav, shake lulav soon, or Sefer Torah Shas Arabim on Yom Tov, and they still allow you to do it. We're going to see the reason in the Gemara why they allow you to do this. Tani Tana Kamei Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Avdim Yashochet Olas Nedava B'Yom Tov Loke. Someone who shacks at Olas Nedava. It's a carbon ola that you don't have to bring. It's a donation. It's not obligatory on Yom Tov. No can get malchus because it's not a sorach Yom Tov. We only ochel nefesh, things that are for food purposes. You're allowed to do malach on Yom Tov, but this is not a food purpose because you can't eat it. It's an carbon ola. It goes to shamayim, shulchan gavoa, kazachu. So therefore, it's not a food purpose for you. So therefore, you're not allowed to do it. I'm related. Amar Chamani. He said back to him, who was the one who says this? Beishamai, it must be Beishamai. They don't say because hotza is normally allowed for food purposes. Therefore, certain malachas, it's malachos rishonim, but certain malachas, at least hotza and havara and shchita, because they're allowed for food purposes, they're allowed for any purpose. So therefore, our Mishnah says the reason Beis Hillel, the Gemara is saying the reason Beis Hillel allows you to take a lulav and katan and Sefer Torah, even though you're not going to eat the Sefer Torah, even though you're not going to eat the katan, you're not going to eat the lulav, right? But because you're allowed to take food out, there's a rabbi to eat it. So you're allowed to take other things out, a lulav, anything you need to take out, you're allowed to take out because it's hutter lagamre. So therefore you'll be able to shecht and all this the devil also, because it's a sorech that you have a personal reason you want to do it. As long as you have a personal reason you want to do it, it's okay. Maskif the rabbi asked back, we might be shamay be so behaplik. How do you know they're arguing with mitoch shehutra mitoch? Dilma be'erev otzal Shabbos be'erev otzal Yom Tov miflik. Maybe it's a limited machlokes about whether there's an isser of hotzal on Yom Tov or not. My marsav erev otzal Shabbos erev otzal Yom Tov. Beishamai holds there's an isser of hotzal on Yom Tov. Therefore, you can't take out a katan lulav. It's not sorach achila. Marsav erev otzal Shabbos erev otzal Yom Tov. It still holds there's no isser of hotzal on Yom Tov. Kedachsiv lo tziu misham bebaseichem Yom HaShabbat. It says in Yirmiyah. You shouldn't take out from your house on Yom HaShabbos. But Shabbos in Yom Tov lo. It says Shabbos. Why only Shabbos? Erev Hotzah. Erev is a way of, in order to matir Hotzah, you have to make an Erev Chatzeros, right? So the concept of Erev only applies on Shabbos, doesn't apply on Yom Tov. You don't need to make Erev on Yom Tov because Hotzah is mutter. Mask of Rav Yosef says El Me'ata. If you'll say that's true, that's machlokes. Whether there's an Isser of Hotzah on Yom Tov, Liflu Ba'avonim. They should have a machlokes by avonim, whether you're allowed to handle metaltel stones, right? If that's machlokes on Yom Tov, so then the machlokes should center around also handling stones. Why is that related? Because the reason you're allowed to taltal muksa, stones are muksa machmas gufa. So therefore, the reason you're allowed to taltal muksa in general, Chazal said, Shabbos daf Kuf Chav Dalet 124. Rashi says that the Gemara on Mashma on Amud Beis over there is Mashma that the Gemara actually says that the whole reason of Muksa is that you shouldn't come to Hotzah. So therefore, you shouldn't be allowed to metal. So Beitzah should say that on Yom Tov you're allowed to metal lavanim. There should be no issue of Muksa on Yom Tov. Why? Because might not come to Hotzah. You'll never come to Hotzah because there's no issue of Hotzah. They don't argue about Avanim, about Muksa. You must be there arguing about whether you say mitoch shehush l'tzarach hushanami shelo l'tzarach pligi. After Rabbi Yochanan tzavor mitoch shehush l'tzarach hotzal l'tzarach hushanami shelo l'tzarach pligi. Even Rabbi Yochanan ascribes to this shita, the way of understanding this machlokes our Mishnah. The Tana kamei Rabbi Yochanan mavasha gid anasha b'chalav b'yom tov. Someone who cooks a gid anasha. Gid anasha is one of the sinews in the leg of an animal. The hind part of the animal. The Gid Anasha won't allow to eat because we know the story with Yaakov Avinu that the Malach Hamavis hit him the Gid Anasha. Right? Where is the Gid Anasha in a person? You know where the Gid Anasha is?
I don't think there is a Gid Anasha in a person.
It's the Achilles tendon, no?
Oh yeah.
Gid Anasha. Achilles tendon. You know the story of Achilles?
I'm not familiar with
Achilles
it.
in
He used to
Greek
live over
mythology?
here. He lived up the hill, right?
Nah, Achilles, the Greek mythology, right? He dipped the mother dipped him in water to be protected, but she held on to him by his Achilles tendon, and the Achilles tendon, he got the poisonous arrow shot in the Achilles tendon. That's why they always say it's a metaphor for the weakness, the weak point of a person. Even a very strong person, he has an Achilles tendon. Anyway, so Vasha, if you take the animals, get an Asha.
I read that comics it's a comic book.
It's not a comic book, Greek mythology. All right. Tani kamei the Rabbi Yochanan Mavashal Gid Anasha. He says you cook Mavashal Gid Anasha b'chala b'Yom Tov. You cook the Gid Anasha, which has a din of meat on Yom Tov. You cook it, so it's meat and milk. You cook it v'achlo, and you eat it. Look at chametz. You get 5 malchus, 5 sets of malchus. Imagine that, 39 times 5, a lot. Loki mishum v'ashal Gid. You're cooking a Gid Anasha, and Yom Tov you're not allowed to cook something shelo l'tzarach. There's a proof to Rabbi Yochanan saying. It's going to be like Beis Shammai, who says, we don't say mitoch shehutra havar l'tzarach, hutra nami shelo l'tzarach. Mvashal gid, v'loke mishum ochal gid. You're not allowed to eat a gid anash, that's an issue in the Torah. V'loke mishum vashal basar b'chalav. You're not allowed to kick basar b'chalav. V'loke mishum ochal basar b'chalav. It's an issue, right? So you can't eat basar b'chalav. V'loke mishum, you're based on a base, mishum havar, because you're kindling a fire to cook it. So you see how the fact that you're chayav for havara and bishul, right? Even though you have a reason to do this, it gives you hana to do this. It's not a sorach okal, you can't eat it, sorach achila. But if you held mitoch shehutra l'tzarach husham shalol l'tzarach, you'd be allowed to do this. So I'm really poke tani lavara havara bishul in a mishnah. It can't be the halacha. It should only be 3 malchus, 3 sets of malchus. You can't even be chayav for havara and bishul on Yom Tov. Even if it's even if we say it is the halacha, Beis Shammai, it must be this price is Beis Shammai. He damri lamrini mitoch shehutra l'tzarach, shelo l'tzarach hushanami shelo l'tzarach. Achanami lamrini mitoch shehutra havar l'tzarach hushanami shelo l'tzarach. The Beis Hillel came with the Amri mitoch shehutra shelo l'tzarach hushanami shelo l'tzarach. Achanami mitoch shehutra havar l'tzarach hushanami shelo l'tzarach. So Rabbi Yochanan holds also the reason in the Mishnah is he holds this concept of mitoch. Now the question is, where do you know mitoch from? It doesn't say in the Gemara a source of mitoch. I remember from my shiurim from Jonathan Sachs, right? The chief rabbi of Israel. No, it wasn't him. It was Jonathan Sachs. He was a Rosh Yeshiva in YU. Is currently the dean, the Rosh Yeshiva, the head of Kuro College for Men in Queens.
That's right.
His
A scholar.
his what is it? His secular counterpart is Jonathan Sachs. I would say secular. He's from guy. He's Jonathan. I think he died. He passed away. I think he died recently. Anyway,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Jonathan Sachs said he brought 5 reasons, 5 makoros from mitoch, which I remember exactly none. So I'm gonna have to leave it at that. If you want information, 5 different makoros, 5 different sources for the source of mitoch, go to Rabbi Jonathan Sachs. Go to Toro. Stay there. Earn a BA. Earn a master's. Stay there. Learn Rabbi Jonathan Sachs for 6 years, and become a Talmud Chacham of note, and work at your local Orthodox shul.
It's nice.
Yes, you could be a rabbi. He's a very nice man. He was a very good rabbi of mine. He made time for me. Shiurim were very very all across Shas, all over the board. He has a depth and breadth. I wouldn't say a depth of Shas, but he's a breadth of Shas, and
He
a
also,
little bit of depth.
I saw him once over here. He gave a Zoom or something.
Yeah.
He gave a share in his
No, he's a big rabbi. He's a rabbi in Passaic
Big rabbi say
and Aguda there. Yeah, they let him to Aguda because he was such a big rabbi.
Really?
All right, yeah. Mishnah, even though he was YU, then he had to switch to Toro because I guess maybe that was better. Toro is not as bad as YU, right? Yeshivish world, YU is looked down upon.
I'm sorry to hear that.
All right, Mishnah,
Great
Beishamai
rabbis
Omrim.
in YU.
Yes, but it's really a Datilumi school. It's really it's not a Haredi, it's not a yeshivish school. Haredi in Israel becomes yeshivish in America, and Datilumi in Israel becomes modern Orthodox in America. And basically, YU is the is the main place of centrist orthodoxy, which is modern orthodoxy.
You said that,
Centrist orthodoxy.
You
Yes.
mentioned this before also.
Young Israel movement, centrist orthodoxy. Aguda movement is the yeshivish one.
What is
and
OU, Orthodox Union?
Orthodox Union really is centrist. Orthodox Union is affiliated with YU. Herschel Schachter is the main rabbi there. All right, Yisrael Belsky asked you to be a part of it also, but all right. Mishnah Beishamai Omrim Im Molichin Chal of what?
Whatever.
Gelatin. All right.
What is gelatin?
It's food taken from the chalav and the fats of animals, not like kosher. Okay. Beishamai Omrim Im Molichin Chal Matanos L'Kohen B'Yom Tov. You're not allowed to take challah. Challah is separated from a dough. And matanos are the what is it called? The zroa l'chaim v'keba, the foreleg, the jaw, and the maw. The article is the maw. It's the cave of the stomach. You're not allowed to take those to a kohen yom tov. Ben shehum me'amish, ben shehum yom. Whether you separated it on yesterday when you shechted the animal yesterday, or you shechted today and you took it today. But Beitzah Matirim, Beitzah allows you to bring challah matanos to the kohen because really you're allowed to shecht on Yom Tov. You want to shecht a fresh animal, so you have to shecht today, and therefore you want to make a fresh isa, a fresh bed today. So therefore you're going to bake it on Yom Tov. You have to bake it on Yom Tov. So therefore you have to take off challah in order to eat it there in Israel, and really you're supposed to take off zroa l'chaim mikeba. So therefore since you're allowed to shecht, and you have to wait till Yom Tov to shecht or to make the isa. So therefore you're allowed to take it off that day. You can bring it to the kohen. Truma is going to be different. Truma really not supposed to take off Truma on Yom Tov because you could have taken it off yesterday. There's a machlokas about it. We'll see it maybe tomorrow. Beitzah Matir. Beitzah says you're allowed to bring it. Amrul Hem Beishamai. Beishamai said Beitzah Gzera Shava Chala Matanos Matan LaKohen. These are both gifts to the Kohen. 24 Matanos to Kohen. These are part of them. The Truma Matan LaKohen. Shem Shem Molichan is a Truma. Even you agree, Beitzah, and Beitzah does agree in the Mishnah. You can't bring it to the Kohen. The Gzera, you might take it off. Right? You might take it off. If you bring it to the Kohen, the Gzera, you might take it off when you're not allowed to. Truma, you're not allowed to take off on Shabbos Yom Tov, at least according to the Yehuda. Tomru Matanos, you can say Matanos, Matanos and Challah, you're allowed to shecht, and you're allowed to take off, and you're allowed to shecht an animal and make an isa, make a dough on Yom Tov. So you're allowed to take it off. So therefore, you can bring it to them. So the Gemara says, "Kasaka da'itach shchumra me'ayom shnishchlu me'ayom, shchumra me'em v'shchumra me'em shnishchlu me'emish." We think the Mishnah is talking about both cases, when it was shechted yesterday or was shechted today. Mani masisin, lo Rabbi Yossi, lo Rabbi Yehuda, el acher. It must be not Rabbi Yossi, not Rabbi Yehuda, but acherim, who is Rabbi Meir. The Sani Amar Rabbi Yehuda, l'nechlu b'sham v'eshil el matano shchumra me'er Rabbi Yom tov shmelichin matano shchumra me'ayom v'shnishchlu me'ayom. Rabbi Yehuda says, Beitzah and Beishamai agree that you can bring everything if it was shechted today. The question is to bring it by itself. And they say you can't bring it by itself. Beisil says you could bring it by itself. It was nishchna hayom. Kachi Beisil Shamai danin. Chal matanas matana lekohen, truma matana lekohen. Shem shein molichin said truma. You can't bring truma. Kachi and molichin as a matanos. I'm only Beisil. Lo, Martin Mitruma Shinazaka and Masa, Tomer Matano Shazaka Baramasa. I'm Rabbi Yossi, his opinion, Rabbi Yossi's opinion, which I'm Vesel Matano Shmolichin Everyone agrees matanos you could bring. Lenechlu, even Beishamai agrees you could bring it. Not like our Mishnah. Lenechlu goel al truma. Machlokes is about truma. Shoishami omri molichin. It's still omri molichin. This is for sure not like a Mishnah. It still allows you to bring truma. Kach yedanim beisil dan in chala matanos matanos lakom truma matanos lakom. Gishem molichin is a matanos kach molichin is a truma. It's like you bring chala matanos, you can bring truma, even though you separate, even though the truma you could have taken off yesterday. Amar lehem Beit Shammai. You can't compare them because truma, you can't take it off. So you can't, because you can't take it off, you can't bring it to the Kohen. Where Gzeira, you might take it off. Rameir says, the Gemara wants to say this is like our Mishnah. They don't argue about the truma you don't bring. They don't argue about the matanos. You do bring. It seems like say our Mishnah is like a chayr, not like Rabbi Yehuda. Amarava, Rav says our Mishnah can even be like Rabbi Yehuda. Mikasani shechumur mayom shechumur mayom shehumur kusani ulaolam shkitasan me'emesh. Really, a Mishnah doesn't say. Our Mishnah says shehurmu. It doesn't say it took it off. When was it shechted? It's not clear where it was shechted. So we want to say. Rav says maybe we'll say that Mishnah means when Shammai didn't allow it, was talking about where it was horm, where it was nishkuta, it was shechted, or the Isa was made on Friday, before Yom, Erev Yom Tov. Really, the shechita was me'emesh, you could have taken off yesterday, that's why you can't bring it. But if you did it today, then you could bring it. So the Gemara says, Lema Rabbi Yehudi v'lo acherim. Says Rabbi Yehuda, not acherim. Afilatim acherim. Hana, the nishlu me'emesh, you could even say acherim, and acherim doesn't allow you to do it on the ones. Beit Shammai doesn't allow you to do it on the ones from Emesh. So Yach Yahaini Rabbi Yehuda comes out. Rabbi Yehuda and acherim say exactly the same thing. So the Gemara says, what's the difference? Ikamanai with Tzveila. The difference between them is to take along the truma also, right? Rabbi Yehuda allows you to take along truma when you're taking off the chala and matanos that were nishkadu hormu on Shabbos, or Yom Tov. You can take along truma with it. According to Beis Hillel, and the Mishnah says you can't take acherim says you can't take along with it truma, right? And you can take along truma or not. That's machlokes whether Rabbi Yehuda allows you to take it with it, according to Beis Hillel, and Rabbi Yossi does not. I'm Rabbi Yehuda, I'm Shmuel. Look, Rabbi Yossi. Look, follows Rabbi Yossi, not like Rabbi Yehuda or acherim. Look, as Rabbi Yossi, you can even take off truma. You can take truma, according to Beis Hillel, even by itself. Of Tuvi, brother of Nechemta. Avalei Garba the Chamra the truma. He had a barrel of wine. It was truma. Asked me, Rabbi Yossi, can I bring it to the Kohen? He's not. Of course, you can't take off the trumas and maitzos, but can I at least bring it to him today? Give him a present. I'm going to eat a meal by him. I want to give him a bottle of Moscato wine, right? Bartanura Moscato wine, right? Amalei Haki Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel Halacha Rabbi Yossi. Halacha is like Rabbi Yossi, you're allowed to do it. It was Bezikne, the Rav Chanan, the host, the Rav Chanan, the landlord. It says on scroll. Havalei Usaraisa the Chardla. He had a bundle of mustard seeds. Can I take them out? Molel is to rub them from their shell and eat them on Yom Tov, right? Are you allowed to do that or not? There's a problem. Malila could be a problem of dash, of threshing something. Are you allowed to do that or not? Here, it's shalok kederech, so maybe it's okay. Lo hava biyada. He didn't know the answer. I asked him, the Rav, Amalei molim lilos farchim kinios biyom tov. You're allowed to separate kernels of wheat from their kernel. Farchim kinios, and you're allowed to separate beans from their legumes or beans from their shell biyom tov. Esi Abaye asked the question. Amolim lilos me'erev Shabbos. If you separate from erev Shabbos, separate the shells from the actual beans or from the actual wheat kernel, machar menafeach miyad liyad va'ochel. You can blow hand to hand and separate the chaff because it's already separated. We're not allowed to use kanan or tamkwa. These are instruments which are a funnel or a large plate which are used to. It's gzeir derabbanan and it looks like dash. Hamolam lios me'erev yom tov l'machar menafeach al yad hayad va'ochel. Afilu b'kanan v'tamkwa. If you actually, that's something. For the first part was talking about erev Shabbos. On Yom Tov, if you separated the chaff from the actual kernel on erev Yom Tov, you're allowed to actually blow it and eat it, and even using a funnel or a tamkwa, a little bit tav, a little bit nafil, not using really industrial types of sieves. There are different types of sieves that were used to separate the chaff from the kernel. because that's industrial. It looks like you're doing it lamachar, and that's a problem of dash for after Yom Tov because this the rice looks bad. Erev Yom Tov and Yom Tov lo. So it's only we see from the price. Only if you actually separated yesterday, you can't separate on Yom Tov. So I feel Tem Yom Tov. You can even separate on Yom Tov. I did Tana Rishon Erev Shabbos Tana Seifa Nami Me'erev Yom Tov. Just really, it's talking about. It just said because of Erev Shabbos, it said Erev Yom Tov. Really, on Yom Tov also be mutter. Im came Matzinu Truma Shazakai Baharamas. So if this is true, that you can even separate on Yom Tov, so you see that you could actually separate Trumas and Maestros. This now, Martin B'Truma Shazakai Baharamasa. The Mishnah says clearly, according to everybody, now let's separate Truma on Yom Tov. We're going to leave that as a question. We're going to see there is an opinion that says you can actually separate Truma on Yom Tov. Everyone have a good day. Go to Marks and Spencer, get your washable suit. Shmuel gets 5%. Right?